This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.
Okay, so we're going to talk about toxic behaviors and toxic attitudes, toxic narratives.
I like narratives. I don't like any other thing other than narratives.
Because I think narratives are very informative. You know, narratives speak to how we perceive things, speak to how we process and comprehend.
But don't necessarily mean that it's actually true across the board.
Yeah. Yes. Narratives are they're being passed down by oral tradition. They're being passed down, with just, things that you just always you've grown up just knowing that this is how we do things.
Programmed.
So yeah, we've been programmed, and this is we kind of zooming into the black community, certain attitudes that we have. So one of the first topics that we're going to talk about is
let's do it, man. Let's jump in.
Our attitude towards quote unquote, and this is because there's so many blurred lines. Snitching or telling,
let's
cooperating,
let's get into it.
Standing on the dock, speaking to the feds, or however you want to coin it. Let's talk about.
So let's get into it. So I think obviously, due to media,
Ren looks like it's ready for you, by the way.
Yeah, no man, I'm not easy. I don't have an opinion, by the way, so it's good. So what I'm saying is, due to the media and the way that a lot of black people are treated, it's almost like law enforcement, because we have to talk about snitching, we have to talk about law enforcement. Law enforcement is the enemy. So therefore, how can, regardless of the crime, and I don't agree or disagree, I'm just saying regardless of the crime, how can you there be talking to law enforcement? Because law enforcement almost target the black community. And because they target the black community, how can you therefore be helping law enforcement in their investigations when they target the black community in particular?
Okay, so when we talk about law enforcement, cooperating with law enforcement, etc., we've got to understand that there's a whole spectrum of situations, crimes, etc. So when you talk about talking to the police, there's different circumstances and there's different situations where when we talk about snitching per se, the lines are blurred, and there's different circumstances and different situations where you can say, this person's, what's the difference between a snitch, a rat?
All right. Let's do this then.
Okay,
let's
throw an example.
I'm going to ask you.
Ask me what?
I was going to ask, before we get into it, what is the definition of snitching between the three of us?
It depends. It's subjective.
That's what I'm asking you.
So, what's your definition first?
No, we've got it subjective. So let's take
so
an
that's what I'm saying.
example.
Each person just give their example of snitching. So for me, if you are involved in criminal activity and you snitch on someone else who was involved in the same criminal activity,
Same or any criminal?
Same. So you were doing what they was doing,
Right.
then you are a snitch.
That's too ambiguous. Let's
No, but it's not.
narrow it down a bit more.
Go on then. What do you mean?
No, I'm saying you narrow it down a bit more.
No, because if I am involved in selling weed, for example, and there is a paedophile on the loose, bruh, I'm snitching. You understand?
No.
Elaborate.
That's not snitching. That's doing the community a service.
That's still snitching though.
It's not.
Because I'm involved in a life of crime.
No.
I'm breaking the law.
No, Anton. No.
If you're a criminal
Yeah.
at all,
Yeah.
you can't snitch.
Okay, you're basically saying what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're saying. Listen, I'm not saying let the paedophile run free. But what I'm saying is do what you need to do in it.
I'm not agreeing with you already.
Why are pedophiles not safe in jail?
Because man them don't appreciate that line of criminal.
Right?
Yeah.
Listen, if you feel,
I'm agreeing with you.
as a criminal, if you feel away about a paedophile, you do your thing, innit?
Just don't snitch on the for the police.
Let's
Don't leave it to the police.
If you feel like you want to snitch on a paedophile,
yeah,
do what you feel to do.
That's not snitching.
Why?
That's doing the community a whole service.
But so is telling, but in some people's eyes, telling on a drug dealer is doing it. It's the same thing.
No, telling on a drug
It's the
dealer
same.
and telling on a paedophile is two different things.
Yeah, it is.
Don't give me the bullshit.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, obviously, don't get me wrong. I know it is. Complete two different things.
But if you're looking at the criminal book, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
No!
No, to us it isn't. To us it isn't. To us,
But to some
No,
people
not
it
even in
is.
the criminal world.
No, not talking
I
about
said
criminal
the
world. I'm
criminal
not talking
world.
about criminal world.
I'm talking about people that follow all the rules.
Yeah.
No, that's
People,
bullshit.
Hold on, people,
No, to
people
us
that
it is.
drive at 30 miles an hour at the 30 miles an hour zone is a good one because
Yeah.
most people don't drive at 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But there are a few people that drive
This
at
is
30.
gonna be a long one.
No, hold on. There are certain people that drive. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, innit? There are certain people that drive at 30 miles an hour, and those people are about all of the rules.
Yeah.
So whether you're selling weed, coke, or heroin, or you are being a paedophile, you are breaking the law. So the
them-
line is the same.
To them, it's sin. Is sin.
No.
No, to us.
To us, it's different.
It's different.
But to the line,
I get it.
the line
I get
is
what
the
you're
same.
saying.
I'm thinking logically.
Yeah,
Go
but
on
to
then.
them, they don't think logically.
You
They're
are
just-
doing a service to the community by
yeah,
getting
yeah.
involved.
Let's bring it back to logic.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. Go on.
Right? Telling on a paedophile is not.
Yeah, but when you're telling on a paedophile, do you mean going out your way, phoning the police saying, yo, there's a paedophile here? That's,
Yeah.
And asking you questions about him.
All right. Say you knew that some guy was touching up some.
Bombo club.
I'm broken him
I'm
up.
telling you.
You're breaking them up, but more so if you
Nigga,
phoned
I'm
the police
snitching.
and told the police,
I'm telling you I'm
and
snitching.
stood on the dock to say this man touched up this little girl and you've got evidence, would you be considered a snitch? No, you're not. However, if you knew
That doesn't make sense.
Timmy up the road from you has got a grow in his yard, and for some reason you can't stand him, and you phone police and say,
That's
yeah,
a snitch,
Timmy's
yeah,
got- that's a snitch,
snitch,
right?
that's snitching.
So let's take a real life example. Tekashi 69.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, end the podcast right now.
The things then.
Right, this...
Tekashi 69, artist from America.
Where? Is he from New York?
Yeah, I don't know where it's from.
I'm sure he's from-
Nevertheless,
Okay.
situation is.
Let me tell you something about... Let me tell you about Tekashi 69, yeah? Right, where... Basically, yes, he is a snitch. But... There's no buts, but just to see it from...
said fuck, nigga.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is... He was a person that wasn't involved in crime,
Yeah,
right?
and
And he
fell
came
into
in...
it.
He fell into it, right? And then he basically...
He didn't fall into crime. He aligned himself with a criminal organization.
Organization, yeah, he did.
Right.
And he tried...
Aligned is a good word, by the way.
Yeah,
That takes from aligned means there's some
It's not like
responsibility.
he wasn't putting in no work. He
No, it wasn't,
he was
but
just
aligned.
following them.
He was setting
funding
people
them.
up. He was
No.
setting people up, though.
Yeah, with the Chief Keef situation, we all know what I want.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But Rayon, if you know, how
I'm
the
not
streets-
justifying nothing for this man,
Right.
you know.
You know how the streets work,
Yeah, of course.
right? If you are running a gang and you see this bait guy, because let's not get
Who are you
twisted.
referring to running a gang?
Tekashi.
He wasn't running no gang.
No, but
No,
I'm saying
he wasn't running the gang.
I'm talking about the train man them that let him in.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did Treyway let him in?
Because you know what it is.
Because
he was,
they knew he was funding them.
Yeah, he was publishing them as well. Because no one really knew about Treyway until
Exactly. So he gave them the clout that they
Well, that's
needed.
them being dumb. Because
That's kind of
them
Tinashe's
being
point.
dumb.
That's my point. They were
Yeah.
dumb enough to let
Dumb.
in. It's like
So wait,
me. I'm
it's
not from the
almost-
street.
You know what it is?
Okay, hold on.
Let me tell you one thing
Go
about.
on.
Let me tell you this one thing between the difference between Mexicans and black people gangs.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Mexicans are in the Mexican gangland. They're allowed to snitch on their enemies. Did you know that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yes, they are. They're allowed to snitch on their enemies.
So if he can then look at you as an enemy.
So
then
why
therefore-
would a black gang, predominantly a black gang, let a Mexican in on?
Especially has to do when they
knowing
do it. Yeah.
full well that they can snitch on the enemies.
Yeah.
In their culture.
But even so,
That's
if
crazy.
Tekashi was black, quote unquote, right? Let's go down to the situation now. Rayon, you've been involved with this gang, but you've not really been involved on a level where you're putting in work. You're funding the gang, right?
Yeah.
I don't really want to put this on you because I don't want to put it out there to say, yeah, Rayon's a snitch or whatever. But this is a hypothetical. This is a complete hypothetical.
Yeah,
Let me
never
put it
set
out
you up
there,
in a
right?
youth.
So I'm not trying
Never
to set
set
you
me
up
up.
and everything,
Never
but
set
I'm
me
just
up.
giving you a
Yeah, go on.
hypothetical situation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You get in a situation, you've been funding these man, right? Things come up to bomb, you end up in a situation where you're being interrogated or whatever. They present evidence to you. Bam.
Evidence of
The man that's supposed to be your brethren.
Fucking at your baby mum, blood.
Now he's beating out your baby mum.
Dealing
They're playing some audio, and she's taking.
Yeah, she's just been
taking all that,
right? Holding onto the backboard and screaming.
Now, without fronting, how are you gonna feel about that?
I'm gonna feel.
Remember, these are your man, you know.
I'm gonna
and
feel
you're
away.
facing 50 years in jail.
Yeah, but listen, I'm gonna feel away. But as Tekashi 6ix9ine, I've got enough money to get this man licked down.
Yeah, but you're not in a position to do that because you're facing 50 years.
Okay, yeah, but so what? You think people can't get people licked down?
Yeah, but then you get this man licked down.
Tinashe, you're missing the point.
I'm doing 50 years in jail anyway.
No, Reno, the question is, are you loyal to that guy?
Yeah. Do you have no loyalty?
But you're not snitching.
I'm not snitching.
Yeah, but the only way is snitching. If you don't snitch, you're gonna go to a trial and you're facing 50 years.
Well, that's my own problem because
and this man's already beating out your baby mum.
This
Point is, would you do time for a man that you know?
I signed this contract when I got involved with these men in the first place.
Yeah, but did you sign a contract that this man's gonna be slamming out your baby mum behind your back?
You're dealing with criminals.
You're dealing with criminals, but at the same time, these criminals are professing their loyalty to you.
Bro, it doesn't matter.
As long as listen, got a point.
You signed
the contract. Listen. You signed the contract.
And what did the contract say? I can fuck your baby mom.
No.
You're
getting in bed with thieves.
You're getting
in bed with criminals.
You're getting in bed with criminals with low morals. The thing that these fucking criminals talk about is loyalty, and these criminals expect.
They chat shit. They chat shit.
Anton, the snitch narrative is based on a man being loyal to you.
It's not.
What do
you mean it's about loyalty? It's all about loyalty.
What's it based on?
The snitch narrative is
what's it based on?
You become a snitch if you are not loyal to the man that
What is it based on?
Nah, because there's gang members out there that aren't snitching on people that's killed the bedroom.
Don't get it twisted.
No.
If somebody killed you, brother, may I tell you?
But if you don't tell me, I swear down that
I would sing. I would sing like a canary, but I don't live a life of crime.
Why?
I would definitely sing.
So Ryan,
bro,
you know that a man.
Listen, alright. If you come and lick down to Tinashe, bearing in mind he's not into a life of crime.
Exactly.
Yeah, think about it this way. He is into a life of crime.
I don't know nothing.
No, what I'm trying to say to you is...
What do you mean you don't know nothing? This is your brethren. You're grown with this man, yeah? This is your boy.
Now, this is easy for me.
Let me tell you something.
I am a civilian. I'm not into a life of crime.
Then you're going to be into a life of crime now because your bedroom's being lit down.
No.
Yes.
Let me explain. No, hold on. That doesn't make sense. I've got a family to feed. Let me explain something to you. Because I've chosen not to be in a life of crime. Think about it. I've made those choices. No.
Yeah, but that's
so when the police come
loyalty to
me,
my
and
boy.
I know who's licked down Tinashe, I'm telling you, I am telling.
That's okay.
That doesn't make me a snitch. I'm a civilian. You should never mess with me in the first place.
Alright, cool. If you're a civilian,
I'm a civilian.
Then you're not snitching.
Okay.
No, I'm not snitching.
But if you're doing criminal activity,
yeah, then you are snitching. That's how.
This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.
What are we saying here? Are we saying that snitching is a thing if you are a civilian? Civilians
can't snitch.
Civilians can't snitch. So if you do something in front of a civilian, you're an idiot.
Yeah, but at the same time, as a roadman, there are certain circumstances.
So they're basically saying where you need to talk. But certain roadmen will say they don't need to talk ever. But if you're not going to talk, then you need to provide the action necessary.
Yeah, but come on.
But Rayon's basically, you're basically saying that
me and you are bridges, right?
Yeah.
Me and you are doing up road or whatever.
Yeah, all the time.
Right? And we have our loyalties to each other, right?
I already said that if something happens to you, I'm not a roadman.
Okay, but if things come up to bump now,
yeah,
and I find out that you cross certain lines that you weren't supposed to cross as a brother,
it's not happening.
I'm gonna question my loyalty.
Yeah.
And when it comes to certain situations, if I have to
fuck
make
that
certain
nigga.
decisions, I'm gonna be like, well, if it was Anton, what would he do?
Yeah.
What would my brethren do, knowing that he's juking out my baby mother?
Fam, this is going back to Tekashi 6ix9ine situation.
Yeah, it's taking it back to Tekashi.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something.
Some people say he signed up for that.
You see, when it comes,
how can you go 50 years? Yeah, imagine. Remember that you're talking 50 years in jail.
I said to you before. I said to you earlier. Yeah, the man knew what he was getting himself in for, innit?
Yeah,
he's dealing with strangers, bro.
Yeah,
but the strangers they've
got these men are animals, fam.
They've got no loyalty.
Yeah,
they're just using him.
Yeah,
right.
And he's using them for protection, and they're using
right.
him.
So why would people be surprised when he snitches on the same people that were using him? He knew they were using him.
I don't think people were surprised.
I wasn't surprised. No, I wasn't surprised.
I don't be surprised.
It's
But
just
it's
the fact that
against the
it's
street code.
It's just
because he was using them.
No one's surprised.
Yeah.
My only beef with Tekashi is the fact that his attitude after he came out.
Oh,
the whole trolling and everything.
Lord.
That's where I had a beef with
Do
him.
you know what? We could all have been in a setup from the day that like they could have just got him in there just to take the whole gang down. Anyway.
Which I said he could have literally been.
He could have been SCI agent.
Yeah, literally. I said this, and I think the Treyway Mandem, they were literally kind of slipping.
Yeah,
like, how do you just let in some stranger?
Okay.
Not being funny, some stranger with multicolored hair, bro.
And on
Shouting
top of
nigger
that,
on your block.
Wild.
And then on top of that, you're letting him in on your ops. You're letting him in on
wild.
Like, come on, you've known this guy for whatever.
Wild.
Yeah, he's got a bag of money, but there's certain ops where even if you infiltrate, even if you join a gang, there's certain things or certain operations that you're not gonna know about.
All right, well, of course.
Most of the snitching goes on. Most of the snitching goes on between the man them that are supposed to be the fucking gangsters.
Because civilians don't witness that much.
Yeah, it's true.
That's a fact. Fam, I don't see
civilians
shit.
don't know nothing that can put on. That
Like
can
rolling
man.
with so many man, me, you know. I don't roll with nobody, you know.
Yeah, but that's the point.
Exactly.
Because you
can't trust
when
no
you really
man.
check it, when you really check it, there's all these narratives that's perpetuated about man ain't gonna tell or whatever. When telling happens, it's not civilians that's telling it. It's the same man them that perpetuate the same.
Okay, but we've called this toxic behaviours in the black community. Do you think it's just a black community that's dealing with this scenario?
Well, when you check it, really, the way that they deal with snitches in other communities is different. Yeah, I'm not
Elaborate.
saying that black people are the only people that snitch.
Okay.
But I'm saying
why people came up with neighborhood watch, bro? Like
they snitch with pride.
Yeah,
They snitch with pride.
That neighborhood watch is a white thing, a middle class white neighborhood scenario.
You know what I mean? They don't mind telling on you, but I just think the attitude towards snitching. I think there is snitching.
So do you think
snitching to me?
Do you think it's negative in the black community to actually growing the black community in a positive way?
No, Anton.
So what's the issue?
It's about recognizing what snitching is. It's about clearing the blurred lines, and I think the blurred lines lie between one situation.
I don't think this is ever gonna be solved though.
No, situation A.
Go on.
Snitching where you can see this guy's making money. He's not really affecting you. He's not hurting nobody, but you just can't stand him.
The guy is.
You're gonna tell on him. And then there's another level of snitching where you're in things, you're on road or whatever. You get caught and you get offered a deal.
Is this old criminal people snitching, by the way? Not
I'm just giving different scenarios.
We have to get rid of
different scenarios because there's certain scenarios where snitching is applied where it doesn't necessarily supposed to apply.
You have to get rid of civilians.
So
either way, do you know to me?
Yeah.
Sin is sin.
Bro, if you do something in front of a regular civilian and they talk about
subjective.
you can't call them a snitch.
I think it's subjective.
If you do something in front of a regular, you do something in front of a 9 to 5 guy.
I'm talking about criminals.
Okay.
Amongst criminals, snitching doesn't.
Let's take them out of the argument.
Okay, so civilians are removed immediately.
Alright, cool. I'm not talking about civilians.
So what's next?
Talk about criminals snitching.
Yeah, but
to me, a criminal snitching, no matter what it is a snitch.
Because regardless of crime,
you can't be out there committing crime and then tell on someone else.
No, but Ryan, let me ask you something.
That don't make no sense to me. You don't make If you're sending a man to jail, why aren't you in jail?
This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.